Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse One here. Here we are. Okay, I was like, wait a minute, there was like a shadow there for a second. How is everybody doing tonight on this wonderful Friday? We had a lot of rain today at the Homestead. It was weird too because it was like they called for rain starting at like noon, and it really never hit till about 3 o'clock. So, but once it came down pretty good there for a while. So, love that fresh smell of rain. Um, the oxidation and stuff like that in the air. It's awesome. So, welcome everybody to the show tonight. So again, before we start the show, I'd like to say a couple things real quick. I'd like to remind everybody, please be kind to each other. No racism, no negativity as far as being mean to each other will not be tolerated. Okay, so please respect each other, and that would be a good thing. If you don't, I have my moderators who are ever present that will boot you out of the chat, which is, unnecessary as long as you're decent to each other. So you can have a dissenting opinion, which is fine, and I'm sure everybody's not going to agree with like my opinion on this tonight, and that's fine as well. But we can have a discussion. See, if we can have a discussion like adults and not children, then the things are great. But when people start, you know, acting kind of silly, then sometimes it makes it bad. But so anyway, the other thing that I want to mention before we get started is when I'm done speaking, if you have a question, please all cap lock so it kind of stands out for me when I'm looking at the chat, okay? So we're going to talk about forced immunizations, forced vaccinations in parts of Brooklyn, New York. Bill de Blasio, I'm not sure if I'm saying his name right, the mayor there of New York City, has declared an emergency in parts of Brooklyn, forcing people to get the vaccination for the measles. And if they don't, they're going to be giving $1,000 fine. Their kids are going to be kept out of school and stuff like that. So, first of all, we're going to talk about who is this targeted to. Okay, so we're talking about Brooklyn. Okay, and in Brooklyn, they have certain schools that are all schools of faith. Okay, and so what do I mean by that? We're talking about schools that are predominantly Jewish schools, okay, where they don't believe in getting that vaccination. So they basically have a religious exemption, and they go to a certain school, what is basically an all Jewish school, okay, and that is why they don't want to get the measles shot, okay, it's measles, mumps, and rubella, MMR shot, all right. So now all of a sudden, De Blasio there, I'm sure I'm probably saying his name wrong. Deblaio, Bill de Blasio. I don't know. Anyway, you know who I'm talking about when I'm saying it, okay? But anyhow, he has decided this emergency. We're talking about 200 cases of the measles that are happening, and oh my goodness, it's an emergency. So let's put that into perspective for a little bit, okay? Real quick before we really jump into what my thoughts on this whole situation is. Let's go back to the 1950s, 1960s. When you had, like in the 1950s, when you had in a regular year, you had a 500,000, 500,000 cases of measles in this country. Okay, now measles has pretty much been all but eradicated in our country. All right, until we opened up our borders and the floodgates and let everybody come in, and not making sure everybody is current on their immunizations. Kind of interesting in that way as well. Uh, yes, I was born in 65, Stace. 1965 is my year. But in the 50s, we had up to 500,000 cases of measles a year. Generally, about 500 people died out of a 500,000 that got the measles. Measles are not pleasant, but it's definitely survivable. And the ones that died were generally, again, your very, very compromised people that already had other medical complications, and then they got the measles, and then, it accelerated things and they passed away. So we're talking about now, let's go back to now, we're about 200 cases in New York City, in that area of New York, Brooklyn, that has 200 cases of the measles. And now they have decided, Bill de Blasio there has decided that it's an emergency, and they're going to force people to get vaccinations, and if they do not comply, they will be fined up to $1,000. Okay, so what are my thoughts on this? Okay, first of all, pharmaceutical must have their hand in his pocket pretty deeply, in my opinion, pharmaceutical companies, because that's all this is. You have a lot of people more and more and more opting out of vaccinations of different things because they feel that it's unnecessary. Okay. But what's happening is, what happens when people opt out of these vaccinations? Pharmaceutical companies aren't making no money. So that's, oh my God. So we have to do a huge fear mongering thing and scare people. And that's what a lot of this is, guys. I'm giving you my opinion, okay? 200 cases of the measles is not an epidemic that's going to be some kind of huge tragic thing, because there's been no loss of life from this incident down there at this point, as far as I'm aware, okay? If I'm wrong, please correct me. But what they do is, it's the propaganda and it's the news media. Like I seen a lot of people, like when I was doing a video the other day, and some people were, oh, I hate anti-vaxxers. I can't stand anti-vaxxers. Well, you know what? It's a personal choice, honestly. And I've talked about that. You kind of know what my stand is on the shots, as far as with your children. That I believe if you're going to get the shots for your children, you need to really spread them out and not just give the kids, like basically 10 shots all at once. That's kind of crazy. Okay. Again, is it necessary to get vaccinations? To a degree, yes, but it's how it's done. And if somebody, for religious reasons, does not want to be vaccinated, I don't think anybody should be forced in this country to do anything. It's almost, again, it's like, Nazi Germany type of stuff, in my opinion, forcing people to do something that they don't want to do, and, I know, like for myself, and I'm going to use myself as an example again. When I was getting ready to go to nursing school, now, I was born in Rochester, New York. And so I had gone and I had to get all my papers together and all my immunizations. Well, they couldn't find, the immunization stuff for my MMR, measles, mumps, and rubella. So they said, well, we're going to do a blood test first. And I said, that's fine. So they did the blood test, and they couldn't detect any levels in my system because I'd had it done so long before. So I had to have that again, the measles, mumps, and rubella. And I think it was a series of a couple of shots. If I'm trying to recall back, 25 plus years ago. So I had to go through the stages again to prove that I could. So that way I could go to school. All right. And they would not let me go to school until that was done. So that, these are, and I just, at that time, I didn't have the education and knowing and doing research and all this type of stuff that we have now. Measles are not something that's going to kill a whole lot of people, guys. It's not some, oh my God, dangerous thing. Like there's a lot of other stuff. Like I'd be more concerned about Ebola than I would about the measles. So, yes. So Workman just said, had the measles, chickenpox, and the mumps back in the early 60s, and I'm fine. They had parties, guys, back in the day. If one kid got like the chickenpox, and I think I've talked about this before, they would have chickenpox parties, and that's what happened to me. Some kid had the chickenpox, and they took all the kids in the neighborhood, and y'all went and played with that kid, and everybody got the chickenpox, because I always said it was better to get it as a child as opposed to being an adult. So and the thing is, and again, it builds up that immunity in your system, that natural immunity in your system. So I'm definitely, some things I understand vaccination wise, but other things, no. You know what I mean? And when you have, like I said, if somebody for religious reasons doesn't want to do something, they shouldn't be forced to. It's just like the flu shot, guys. All right. In the nursing field, it's almost as though you are forced to, because if you don't get that flu shot, and here's the funny thing with that. We're going to use that as another example, and how it's a moneymaker. That's all this is. The flu shot, the CDC buys all these from the pharmaceutical companies, and they put out the fear. Oh my God, you got to get this flu shot, even though it's only 10% effective. And so they want you to do that. And, it's all a scam. It's a complete scam. It's better to go ahead and get the flu, build up those natural antibodies towards it. It makes you stronger. Putting stuff in your body it's in what everything else that is in that flu shot. And the reason that a lot of people don't want to get the measles shot is because, I want to preserve my health. Exactly. Prudent just said, I don't want any vax. I want to preserve my health. You don't know all the crap that's in there. If you actually do the research and you see what all the crap that is in a lot of these shots, you wouldn't ever get another kind of vaccinate. Excuse me, another vaccination type of shot. Excuse me, I don't know why I'm choking here. All right, I got to show you this too. This stuff is the freaking best, okay? And I have no kind of affiliation with them, so I just like it. It's the ginseng and honey green tea. It is Arizona. Freaking awesome. 99 cents. I mean, you can't go wrong. I love that. Love that tea, so I drink that quite a bit. Anyway, getting back to it, but all this other crap that's in these shots, like the flu shot, and the 10% effectiveness is ridiculous. So when you have that and they're forcing it on you, and there was people that every year would try to get exemptions because they would have severe reactions to those shots. Again, what I would recommend to anybody, if you have a child, before you go and get any kind of series of vaccinations, make the doctor's office do tests for allergies first and make sure that child is not going to be allergic to different things. So I really think that that's important. I wanted to clear one thing up real quick here as well. Yesterday, when I was talking about, everything in yesterday's video, I said, it's a fungal thing. And I said antibiotics don't work on the fungal thing. What I meant was antifungals were not working on that fungus. Okay, so I misspoke, and of course I got hammered in the comments and then I called it a virus afterwards. I just misspoke, guys. In the beginning of the video, I talked about it, said what it was, said that it was a fungus. And again, what I meant was that antifungals did not work with this. It was like, building up an immunity to that. Hey, Rennie, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. So, okay, so here we got Robert Blakemore just said shingles is from dormant chickenpox when you get older. And then now that's the latest, greatest thing. Now they got a shot that they want to give you for that. Basically, 1 in 4, 1 in 5 people that had the chickenpox when they were younger will develop shingles. This is, I guess, the numbers that they're putting out there. Now, I never did. I have a cousin who's exactly the same age. He's actually 2 months older than I am. He just, on the, 7th, he just turned 54, and on the 9th of June, I'll turn 54. So we grew up together. He did get the shingles, and he said it was very, very uncomfortable, very, very uncomfortable. So, but again, it's not going to, if you get the chickenpox as a kid, not everybody's going to end up getting shingles. Some people will. It kind of happens. Wolffang just said, I got all kinds of shots in the military, myself as well. And I've talked about this in other videos. We stood in line, okay, and they had the guns on each side of you, and one person on this side and one person on this side. And as you walked through, you stood there, and they hit you here, and they hit you here with these guns, giving you all kinds of different shots. I had no idea what they were giving me. Just following orders, doing what we were told. That's the way it is. And so that's how it went down. And it's funny. I got a quick story for you on that. Had a guy, big, huge bodybuilder type guy. He was like 25, just jacked up in great shape. When it came to those shots, he was sitting on the floor, his head back against the open window, trying to breathe because he was got himself so worked up about the shots. And somebody had tapped me and said, they go, hey man, check that out. And I was laughing, because I'm like, who cares? But everybody's different, how it happens. Hey, Rennie, again, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yeah, forced vaccination is against the law and a violation of our rights. Exactly. And I agree with that 100%. There's no way that you should be forced to do anything in this country. And, using the scare tactics with the media, talking about, oh, my God, this great outbreak of measles, when you're talking about 200 cases. And, again, let's put it into perspective. we have mass immigration coming across this border of people that are getting through that are not inoculated with a lot of different stuff, and they're bringing a lot of diseases into this country that basically we have wiped out in this country. So, geez, wow, New York City. Let's see. Would that be interesting that there might be some of these people would gravitate to New York City, and now you have a measles outbreak because they don't get inoculated like we do here in the United States, down, in the rest of in the southern or the northern hemisphere, if you will. I had chickenpox at 21. No shingles back for me. No, I hear you, Stace. I would not do it either. I would absolutely not do it either. Have I ever taken colloidal silver? I have not. You know what, guys? I have not checked into that at all. So I really need to. I mean, I have done no research into that at all. And I hear a lot of people talking about it, and I do need to do the research on that. I'm going to be honest, okay? Let's see. It turns you blue? What turns you blue? Last flu shot was in the Army in 1980, and I've never had the flu. Yeah, I mean, I was basically every year with nursing was almost forced to get it because if you didn't get the flu shot, you had to wear a mask, and they were really jerks about it. And basically, they would force you to wear a mask for almost 6 months, and I wasn't wearing a mask for 6 months. So I did get the flu shot then. Now that I've stopped working, I did not get the flu shot this last year, and I will never get it again. It's just, yeah. Black elderberry syrup. Yes, I heard that that's really, really good as well. Hey, Rennie, thank you very much. Thank you again for the donation. You know, yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there, guys. Again, my biggest thing to anybody is do your research ahead of time. Find out what's in the shots. And if you're comfortable with that, then do it. If you're not, then don't do it. But I don't think anybody should be forced to. Yeah, exactly. Some Brad just said the Brooklyn community is mostly Jewish, and the mayor is forcing them to take the measles shot. Right, because it's like they have the schools down there, basically all Jewish schools, where you also have different schools in this country that are all Muslim schools. Where they want to be with their own group of people, and that's what they want to do, and they don't get those type of shots. So I don't see an issue with them doing that. But again, it's a forced way, a forced immunization. And again, let's see who's going to make the money off of this, guys. The money's going to be made, number one, in fines if people don't comply. The money's going to be made from the pharmaceutical companies that are going to give that measles stuff, or the CDC, or whoever owns the rights to it. I'm the only one on YouTube who doesn't call my stack. Well, if you're saying an honest comment, I'm going to give you props for it. Nobody should be forced in this country to do anything that they don't want to do. If you want to worship, let's see, let me give you an example. Okay, here we go. We'll do this. If you want to worship this pen, and you think this pen is God reincarnated or Jesus Christ or whatever, you absolutely have the right to do that. Now, I'm also going to disagree with what you think, but that is okay. It doesn't make you wrong, and it doesn't make me right. It just means that we have a difference of opinion, okay? But if you tell me that if I don't worship this pen along with you, that I'm going to burn in hell forever and all this other nonsense, we're obviously going to have an issue with that as well. So how are they going to enforce it? Well, they have a list of people that haven't got the shots. Basically, they know who doesn't have the shots. There's records of everything. From the time you're born, guys, once you get that social security number, there's a record of everything that happens. Like when the kids were ready to go to school, they wanted, where's their records? Where's their immunization records? So you had to have all that information. And I think before Heather started 10th grade, there was another thing that she had to have as far as an immunization to go to public school. So it's one rule is you don't judge. Great comment. Absolutely. Gene Gleason just put that up there. And exactly, and I agree with that 100%. To each their own. Again, don't judge other people because it doesn't mean, like they said, they're right. Measles vax killed 127. Measles killed 3. Yeah, well, there you go. So there's a lot of bad things with it, too. So, again, you're taking your chances. It's a roll of the dice. The same thing with the different immunizations, Islam is a very evil religion. I don't disagree with you. This is what blows me away about, and I'm going to call Islam what it is, like there's other things that are cults. Islam is a cult like other different religions are cults. When you have a religion that makes women a second-class citizen, that they're beneath them, okay? So here's a man, and the women are all garbage underneath them. And these women go along with it, with the brainwashing, and they think that that's perfectly fine. That's insanity to me. Absolutely insanity. That it's okay to be treated like you're garbage, and if you disrespect your husband, then he can kill you. It's insane. It is insane. And and Islam is just one example. There's a lot of lunatic cults in this country where you have people that think that they're I'm trying to think of. There was a group there in California many years ago with Halley's Comet was coming, and they all killed themselves because their leader said so. And I can't remember the name of that group. If anybody can remember, please let me know, because I know exactly what I'm talking about. But Heaven's Gate. Thank you, Colorado Biker. Yeah. Heaven's Gate cult. It's a great example of a cult. And in that cult, the men castrated themselves. Now think about that, guys. This guy, the leader of this cult, all the men had to castrate themselves. It's weird crap. And people just go right along with it. And then those people all killed themselves because they thought they were catching a ride on Halley's Comet to whatever the light thing was and stuff like that. So I don't get it. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. Exactly. The biggest thing is question everything. Question everything. I've talked to you guys about this. When you see the media and you see the crap that they're pumping out, you look at it objectively and you say, okay, how realistic is this? And then do your research and find out. Jim Jones is another one. Great. Yep. Stays very good. Yeah, exactly. A couple thousand people died with that one. They went down to South America, and because people were investigating what was going on, they all took cyanide. No, was it cyanide? But it was in the Kool-Aid. They all drank the Kool-Aid. Imagine that, and they all killed themselves. Mass suicide. Absolutely insane. The media is a farce. I agree with you 100%. They are given a narrative. They're told what to say, and that's what they do. So when you speak out against them, well, then you're a bad guy, and you're distributing false information. But my biggest thing, and I tell all you guys this: do your research. Look at the stuff. Look what's in the flu shot. Look at the benefit, the positive and the negative. To me, there's no positive enough. Jim Jones, well, yeah, he shot himself, right? But the rest of the people in his cult, he had them drink that Kool-Aid, and they all died that way. Yeah, why so many brain dead? Yeah, what brain dead zombies believe the government? Yeah, they just so many people just go right along with whatever they're told. They just do what they're told, and they don't question anything. Like I said, I believe if there's something that I don't think is right, and I've always been that way. I've always been, and I don't want to say a rebel, but I've always been one to push against the norm and go, you know what, something's not right about that. Let me look into that and try to figure the stuff out. So, but I told Richie from Boston to check you out. He wanted to know good preppers with info. Oh, that's cool. Thank you, Paige. I appreciate that. Yeah, no, he's got a decent channel over there. I like Richie from Boston. Gives it a lot of good information. So I definitely like his channel. like I said, I've talked a couple times about different channels that I like, guys. Marfugel, I like him. I like John X Army. Jacob Israel, I love him as well. And Richie from Boston, I love his stuff as well. Diamond from the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. A lot of good information out there if you're willing to listen to it. And again, even when all these guys give you that information, do your research, follow up. I'm a big believer in that. Okay. Mega is a cult. Okay, well, what? Because you wear a "Make America Great" hat again? I don't see how that's a cult, but that's okay. You're entitled to your opinion. Yeah, your gut, exactly. Cricket Girl just said, great comment there. Listen to your gut. I'm going to tell you what, guys. I listen to my gut all the time, and if my gut is if I get a bad vibe off of somebody, I talk to a lot of you guys, and I've talked to people through the years that my gut just said, man, but if my gut says that, I listen to my gut always, and my gut is generally never wrong. I can't even remember one time my gut was wrong. If I get a weird vibe on somebody, great example, we had a neighbor, and when we moved into the house, we were there for 8 years, and at the time, I told my then wife and my daughter, do not ever be alone with Jim. I said, I get a creeper vibe off this guy. It was oozing off of him. Well, it turns out he was a pedophile. So, it was a great call on my part. And he eventually got caught and went to prison. So, that's... Yeah, I wish my husband would question. He lives in his bubble and doesn't affect him if it doesn't. Yeah, well, you're gonna have a lot of people that are gonna be like that. Unfortunately, it's some people are just gonna live. Some people just don't want to know. They don't want the truth, so they'll just go along, put on the rose-colored glasses, and pretend everything is fine and that nothing is ever gonna happen. And that's actually pretty sad, to be honest with you. Yep, Kathy just said your gut sixth sense. Always listen to it, always, because you're not. It's not gonna be wrong. Smitty said we need to stop blaming Trump for everything. Well, that's the media, Smitty. That's the media doing that. And again, that's another whole propaganda thing. Do you think now? Let's look at something realistically. Okay. Do you think if the media had attacked Obama like they attacked Trump, people would have gone insane? Okay, I mean, it's amazing. People are walking around half asleep when they need to be more more aware. Absolutely, I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%. People need to be awake. They need to pay attention to what's going on out there. It's a crazy world, guys, and there's a lot of crazy people out there. When you see, and this goes both ways. Okay, just when you see people attacking somebody because they have a "Make America Great" hat again, and they're just triggered by a hat, and they flip out on people. When you have people attack somebody just because they're Muslim or they look Middle Eastern, okay, that's wrong too. Okay, it's the same freaking thing. Okay, when you have somebody targeting people and beating people up because they're white or they're black or they're an Indian or they're Asian and they don't look like you do, that's wrong, and that should not be. Absolutely should not be. So, like I said, any form of that type of stuff is wrong. So, these people claim preppers are crazy. You know what, Kelly? That's a great. Yeah, we're the ones that are crazy because we're prepared for whatever disaster may come upon us in our country, and we're awake, so we're nuts. So I think that's very, very funny. Oh, and of course, I don't know why I always forget to mention this too. Now, one of my moderators, Mike, who's also my IT guy, he has the Watchman News. Okay. Go check out his channel too, guys. I don't know why I don't even think to mention you, Mike. So I apologize for leaving you off that list of people. But Mike has a great channel too, and he does the news every day. So if you want to get, and Mike really gets into the research of it. He's not just going to put up anything that, or talk about things that, the regular media is going to talk about. He's going to show you a different angle of it. So definitely go check Mike out as well, too, at the Watchman News. So I definitely recommend you guys go subscribe over there and check him out as well. Unfortunately, the U.S. is in a state of disaster now. Crystal Cooper just said that. You're right, Crystal. Things are crazy. We have huge debt in this country, and there could be a financial collapse. Think about if, in the way that they would do that. Think about this. It's a Friday. Everything's fine. It's great. You go into the weekend, and all the ATMs and everything are temporarily closed because there's whatever problems with the internet or yada yada yada. Then come Monday, they're not opening back up. You can't go get your money. And there's a financial collapse. What do you think that would happen in this country with something like that? Very, very crazy. Yeah, bank holiday. Oops. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, it's, let's see. Trump isn't pushing 5G. You all think 5G is perfectly fine. I haven't done enough research in it to give you any kind of actual opinion on as far as my part of it goes. As far as 5G, I really need to look into it more. Biggest thing one of the things I want to mention to you guys is this. I want you to think about this, okay? If the lights went out tomorrow and we're not going to come back on, how ready are you? And it's a question I ask people all the time. It's my favorite question to ask. And, it's something I always ask people because I think it's really, really important. And most people tell me, oh, I'm not prepared at all. So then I always ask them, well, why not? What are you doing? Gandalf says, why do people hate Jesus so much? You know what? You're going to have people. I'm going to address that for a second. I don't think it's a matter of people hate Jesus. I think you have people that you have organized religion, okay? And there is a lot of hypocrisy. There is a lot of judgment. Okay, I'm going to give you my opinion on organized religion. Okay, I'm not talking about a relationship with God. Okay, I'm talking about organized religion. In my opinion, organized religion is about three things, guys: power, control, and money. They want your money. Okay, they want to tell you what to do, and they want all the power. So that and I don't think that you have different religions that think differently. Okay, you have Buddhists who are in a totally different realm of things. Okay, you have Islam, again, a totally different thing. You have Christianity. Okay, you have paganism. You have Satanists. You have agnostics, and there's just so many different things out there. So I don't think it's a matter of that people hate Jesus, if you will. I just think that people, this is one of the things that I always tell people is this: whatever you believe, be it Islam, be it Buddhist, be it Hindu, be it Christianity, whatever you believe, if it gives you as an individual peace of mind, then I'm happy for you, because that's realistically what we want. We all want to have peace of mind. We all want to have some kind of self-worth, and a lot of people are looking for something beyond this life. What happens after we die? So it's Jenna just said Jesus had no religion. It's, again, you're going to have a whole bunch of different interpretations. And here's another thing: like, people can take that Bible, or they can take the Quran, or whatever holy book that they have, and you could take 10 different people, and they're going to give you 10 different interpretations of the same verse. And so that's just kind of how that goes. I believe in God, not religion. Religion is based on man worship. Exactly. And I agree. Organized religion, again, in my opinion, Power, control, and money. That's what organized religion is. You look at what goes on, and I'm, if anybody out there is Catholic, please don't crucify me. I'm going to use the Catholics as an example. You look at the molestation that has happened in the Catholic Church, that was covered up, that was let to happen, that these pedophile priests were moved from precinct to, or not precinct, but from church to church to church. They were just moved around. That's horrible. That's horrible. Why would you let these kind of people, Boy Scout leaders, a lot of pedophiles were in the Boy Scouts, they were Boy Scout leaders. So again, those type of individuals are going to put themselves in a position where they can be around children, which is very, very sad. So anyway, but like I said, religion and politics are taboo. I got you. I got you. I just wanted to address that, and basically, if you're doing something and it gives you peace of mind, then that is absolutely fantastic, and I'm happy for anybody that has a personal relationship that you're comfortable with it. I think that that's great. And it's about faith, right? Exactly. Somebody just said it's about faith. So. Somebody just said, I think they wanted to turn out young boys on purpose. Well, here's what happens. Okay, we'll get into this a little bit. I want to kind of talk about this topic a little bit. When young boys are abused by men, okay, they end up falling into three categories, okay, and a great percentage of them do end up becoming homosexual. I think it's like 50%, something to that number, okay, but what happens is they fall into three categories. When somebody's abused as a child, and it could be physical abuse too. It doesn't necessarily have to be sexual abuse, okay? But it could be physical abuse as well. When they grow up, they fall into three categories. They either become an abuser themselves, which that I could never understand. If you, I have a hearing loss in my left ear from one of my stepfathers, okay? So I made a really conscious effort when I became a parent that I was never, I hit my kids on the behind, and it was usually between 1 and 3 shots on the butt, open hand, when they were getting punished, okay? But because I was hit the way I was, and I was hit in the head, open hand, the neighbor told my mom that your husband hit your son as hard as he would hit a man, but with an open hand. So think about that as a child, getting that kind of trauma, okay? For somebody that had that happen to them, I just could never understand why anybody would do that to somebody else if it was done to you and you knew how it felt, okay? But anyway, some people turn into predators as well. The second category people fall into when they're abused is they become victims, where they set themselves up to be victimized throughout their life. They're always a victim. They never, they're never going to take personal responsibility. They're always going to be a victim. The third category is a protector. I fell into the protector category. I cannot stand when somebody is weaker or smaller and somebody's bigger is picking on that smaller person and trying to, dominate them in a way or be physically aggressive. I cannot stand that. So I have been in many fights through the years with people that I had no idea who they were because of their behavior towards other people. And so that's, so I'm a protector. That's what I do and always have been. And wow, lo and behold, then I got into the medical field because I like taking care of people. I like helping people. So it's crazy. And now I do this because, again, I like helping people. I want to, help wake people up and show them, that this is possible. So crazy world, crazy world, but that's okay. Yep, just like Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys. Yep, exactly. Anyone who wants to know the truth about vaccinations, please watch Vaxxed. Yeah, there information is out there, guys. If you want to find out about information that's there, always, and like I said, just don't listen to me. Just don't listen to other people like me on YouTube that are giving you this information. I want you to question the mainstream media. I want you to question us, do your research, and find out, Can you generate enough power to run a light bulb with vinegar? I have no idea. I've never tried that. Yeah, read the actual manufacturer's inserts for vaccines. They're all available online. Survival Prepping 101 just said that. Very, very good advice. Very good advice. What do I think of the movie Unplanned? I haven't seen that one. Have not seen it. Yep, judge not, lest ye be judged. Also be judged. Exactly. I don't judge people, guys. I mean, it's like, I've always been like this. I don't hate anybody. I have no hate in my heart for anybody. There are people that I don't care for. There's people that I don't like. So I just don't have nothing to do with them. I've worked with people that I really did not like those people. So I just kind of kept my distance, and they knew, they could tell, because I'm not real good at hiding that type of stuff. If I don't like somebody, people generally know that I don't like them. But I just leave them alone. And, don't bother me and I won't bother you. That's kind of the way I try to do it. And so, if you're decent to me, I'm going to be decent to you. So, I do have to mention today, because yesterday it was funny. So yesterday my beard was a freaking all over the place. And today my beard is on point. I woke up and my beard was like, I was like, oh my God, my beard is like so right on today. So I think that's funny. So. Yep, the golden rule. Ruth just said that. Yep, absolutely. I'm a big believer. You treat people the way you want to be treated until they prove that they don't deserve to be treated that way. And there's plenty of those people out there. If somebody's a jerk, why do you want to be around that type of person anyway? I don't. It's just like when, you have your haters or trolls or whatever you want to call them, whatever title you want to put on them for all these different channels that are out here. It just blows me away that if somebody hates my channel and they can't stand me for whatever reason, but they watch every video. They are on there every day trying to pick apart, and he's a jerk and he's an idiot because of this or that. If you don't like my channel, don't watch my channel. It doesn't make any sense to me. There's channels out there that I do not watch because I don't care for the YouTuber. I don't care for their content or what they're spewing out there. So I don't watch them. Kevin just said Amish beard bomb. Yeah, I just use beard oil. On mine. The beard knows when you're being seen. Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to tell you what, I actually like my beard. I was talking the other day. I saw a couple people were saying, shave it off. It's spring now. Shave it off. Right. I can't say I won't shave it off at some point, especially when we get into summer and it gets really, really hot. I don't know. But right now, I am not shaving my beard off. So I like it. I started growing it October 1st. So. Yeah, Jeannie said, why watch? Yeah, if you can't stand somebody, why do you watch them? I just don't understand that. A lot of times I think for some people, guys, it's jealousy. And I don't know why they would be jealous, because I'm going to tell you what, I tell people all the time, I'm just me. I'm a jeans and t-shirt kind of guy. I'm a very down-to-earth type of person. I'll sit down and have a beer and BS with anybody. We talk about any subject. I had a really, really good friend of mine that was like ultra, ultra religious, and him and I would have some great theological discussions. And it was funny because he had said to me at one point, he said, you know what, Ed? He goes, I got to tell you something. I go, what was that? And he says, for somebody that's not religious, he said, you're one of the most moral people I've ever met in my life. And I kind of thought that was funny, because you have to equate morality to religion. I believe if you live by a certain code and if you try to be a decent person, why does religion have to play into it at all? Why do you have to be a certain way because of religion? Why can't you just be that way, period? So that's just kind of my thing. Deborah Lewis just said, yeah, misery loves company. Yeah, people that are unhappy. What was it? People that are unhappy don't want people to be happy. And I'm going to tell you what, guys, for 95% of the time, I am a happy person. I absolutely love where I'm at. I love what I'm doing. I have great kids. Sometimes I want to choke them, but I still love them. And, so I really, I pretty decent health physically. I have my issues, but I think everybody does. And, so I look at it like I'm very blessed. I'm very, very blessed. And, and I'm getting to do this, and I'm getting to work on my homestead and make my life and my kids' lives better, and hopefully teaching people and showing them that this is possible. A single father with 2 kids, and we moved out here, and we did this, and it's been interesting. Yep, you are not alone. Exactly. So and like I said, I love the interaction. I love talking with like-minded people. That's a really cool part of this as well. I caught a lot, with of static when I got into prepping, and a lot of people, oh, you're crazy, you're nuts, and why do you do it, and yada yada yada. But at the same time, out of the side of their mouth, they would say, well, when something happens, I know where I'm going, and I'd be like, no, no, you're not coming here, because if I've told you to, then why, and you're not going to help yourself, why should I? But I am a happy person. I always tell people this, guys. Life is what you make it. If you want life to be a miserable, horrible, I feel sorry for myself kind of existence, that's exactly what it's going to be. But if you make a conscious decision that we all have negatives in our lives, all of us do. I mean, there's not one person out there that doesn't have some kind of negative going on in their life, okay? But if you look at the big picture of stuff and you weigh the negative and the positive, and you look and you focus on those positives and what can I do to make my life better? And you focus on that, your life will get better. It just does. It's a lot of it is your mental attitude. So again, to me, it's a huge choice. It really, truly is. Okay, Keith, a great comment, and I'm gonna take that one further. When I was younger, I was really unhappy, and I was talking to my mom at the time, and I was like very young, and I said to her, I said, I can't find anybody decent. What is going on? What is wrong? And she said to me, and this was one of the greatest things my mom ever said. She goes, how can somebody else love you when you don't even love yourself? Okay, so all of us, what we all need to do is do that self-reflection. And what am I putting out there? Okay, what kind of vibe are you putting out there? If you walk around and everything out of your mouth is negative all the time, this sucks, that sucks, the world is this is terrible, that's terrible, people are terrible, I hate this, I hate that, my life sucks, my job sucks, blah, 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 whatever, okay? If you're putting that out there all the time, people are going to stop being around you. They don't want to be around that, okay? So if you're putting out positive energy, and it's all about energy is what it comes down to. But if you're putting out positive energy, and if you're being a decent person, like I said, one of the favorite things that I love to do, and I'm just going to give you an example of this. When I'll go to a grocery store, and I'll see a woman, and she has a haircut that I think is kind of cool, or I like the way that she's dressed, or whatever, okay? So I will go up to that person, and I will say, hey, listen, I just wanted to tell you I really like your haircut. And then I walk away. I'm not asking for a number. I'm not trying to hit on her. I want to give her that compliment. And you would be surprised if you put that out there, that positivity. It changes everything. You just made their day. Maybe they were having a bad day, and for some stranger to walk up to them and give them a compliment, that is a good thing. So that's I think that's important. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Very few like-minded people around me. Yeah, it's hard, and that's why reaching out online and talking with like-minded people is a really, really great way to do it. And on that note, I'll bring up my YouTube channel real quick, or not YouTube, my website, preparedness1.com. We have the Prepper Nurse One community there. It's a really good way to hook up with like-minded people. It is totally free, doesn't cost anything. So if you sign up, it's very private, where somebody off the street just can't go in there and check around and see what's going on. You have to be a registered member. You go in, and for whatever state you're in or whatever country you're in, you can hook up with like-minded people, bounce ideas off each other if you're trying to form a group, or a loose affiliation even. It's a great way to do it. So and again, it's totally free. There's no charge for that at all. So if you want to do that, oh, thank you, Kelly. I appreciate that. Viking Preparedness did a video on prepping liquor for SHTF. It's good to have. Again, when you have like vodka and stuff like that, it can be. I hadn't seen that video, but it can be used for antibiotics. It can be used for barter. There's a lot of positive uses for that. So it's definitely good to have some of that on hand. I have some on hand. I'm not going to lie. I generally stick with the vodka, to be honest with you, because of the uses that it can be used for. It can be used as an antiseptic. A lot of positive uses. So that's why no like-minded people in Northwest Ohio. Stace just said that. Stace, did you see how many people on my website are from Ohio? A lot of people in the group from Ohio. So Mountain Girl just said she signed up for the Watchman News. There you go, Mike. There's somebody to. Do I have a donation button on my website? I do, Harvey. If you go to my main page on my YouTube channel, you'll see there's up in the right-hand side, it'll have a donate button. If you were looking to donate, please feel free to do it. Any donations, guys, and I think I've talked about this before, it goes back into supporting what we're doing here at the Homestead. There's a lot of projects that I want to do that are going to take me years to do. And so I'm just going to continue to do the best that I can. We're making progress already this year, and I'm really, really pleased since we know the weather's broke. Been working on a chicken coop. That will be finished this year. We will have chickens this year. The next project after that, and then after I get the wood all squared away, I picked up the rest of the rounds too. I got those picked up between all the rain we've had the last couple of days. But I got the rest of those trees done. I got to finish zipping them up. That wood's got to get split. We still have the solar rack to build and change that whole situation out. And one of my guys in my group, and we got somebody working on some stuff, and that will all be mentioned, and he'll be mentioned as well, the guy that did some welding for us. And so, yeah, things are moving along, and making progress and making forward progress. And that's, to me, it's like so exciting to be looking at things and going, okay, man, things are really, prep to live, not live to prep. Exactly. You know what? Prepping is a lifestyle, and it's a passion, and you should enjoy it. You shouldn't be prepping out of fear. I don't want you guys to prep out of fear. I talk about this quite a bit. Doing it out of fear is not the way to do it. Not the way to do it at all. You should be doing it because you're looking out for your family. You're trying to give yourself that advantage when a situation comes up. Could be flooding. It could be an earthquake. It could be, a winter storm. It could be an ice storm. It could be a tornado. It could be a hurricane. It could be fires. We have these things in this country every year, and still people don't prep. And I just can't wrap my mind around that. Workman's Dead 44. You ride? Absolutely. I have a 2015 Heritage Softail, Harley Davidson, of course. I love to ride, and I ride it every chance that I possibly can. And I will, I'll do some video again this year when we're out riding. I'll do some more video this year because then my baby girl's going to be gone. Hey, Deborah Lewis, thank you very much. And thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the donation, and thank you. I enjoy it. Like I said, guys, I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't enjoy doing it and trying to help people and trying to wake people up. I definitely, I wouldn't be here doing it. Yeah, Softail. Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you what, my bike, I love my bike. It's a cruising bike, and I like to cruise. I'm not like looking to go, 200 miles an hour. I don't care about none of that. Let the crotch rocket guys do that type of stuff. I like to get on a bike, and it's a way to decompress, and I enjoy it. It's a great way to de-stress, and it's just so much fun to ride and have that wind in your face. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Keith just said, could be anything. He works disaster communications with ham radio. That's important too, guys, and I kind of talked about that a little bit. What does Eddie and Heather like? Heather's into art. She loves art. And Eddie loves space. Always has loved space. Anything on space. So Eddie loves space. Riding is therapy. Absolutely it is. And people that don't ride don't understand. They really, truly don't. But if you ride, you totally get it. It is a great way You could have a miserable day, and we all do. I mean, not every day is perfect and sunshine and roses. You've had a really bad day, and you say, "The heck with it," and you jump on that bike and you just go, and you forget about all your problems because you have to focus on your ride. That's one of the things with riding. You really have to be aware of your surroundings around you, and your head's got to be on that swivel, looking around, looking for danger spots. So you're focused on your ride, and also you're enjoying your ride. You enjoy the scenery or whatever and it takes all that stress and it just runs it out of your body, and that is a huge thing. So Kelly just said, I went through Hurricane Harvey totally unscratched because I prepped. Yeah, and that's the way to do it. And again, so where everybody else is running around like a chicken with their head cut off, you're sitting back and going, okay, well, we ride this out, and then, the power will be back on and things will be going. Lori said, sounds the same feeling riding a horse. Yeah, I'm sure it is. I've never ridden a horse, but I'm sure it's the same thing. I'm sure it's the same thing. Hey, Bubba. Let's see. Marfugel Reports is doing a how-to about ham radio. That's good. That's good. Ham radio is going to be real important, guys, afterwards. It's going to be real important because communication is going to be a really important way to find out information of what's going on, not only locally, but around the country, around the world. So the ham radio can really make a big difference. It really can. Nanobot skeeters. I heard something about that. Where are the kittens? They're around here someplace. They're in and out a lot more now, now that we're into spring. So they're outside quite a bit, and they come in. And, I only got one cat on the bed with me tonight. I'll show you real quick. Oh, there's one of them. Eddie's got one of them. But there's Max. And then we'll turn this up to Eddie. And he has Abel. So, yep, that's...
Doggle's also in.
Oh, is he in too? Okay, I didn't know if he was in or not. Yeah, so I wanted to point this picture out again here, guys, tonight over here. One of my subscribers sent this to me. He got this. It's Sturgis, and so he had sent that to me, and it was very much appreciated. It's very cool. And on the bottom it says "Father and Son's Journey." So, like I said, I love taking my kids for rides. They love to be on the bike, and they really enjoy it. General class license here and teach classes. Yeah, I mean, if you want to get your ham operator's license, it's not a bad idea to do. Definitely. It'd be another fun way just even talking with people around the world and finding out what's going on. Vaccinate the cats or beware. Okay, if you say so. I've never been to Sturgis myself. I think that would be very cool. I definitely would like to do that one of these years, and I think that would be a lot of fun. I have tried to tell people to stock food because of flooding. They still give me the blank look. Hey, Doris, thank you for the donation. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's a very nice. He says, keep on preaching the truth. They're prepping nurse one. Whether you know it or not, you're doing God's work. Well, it's all about being together, being that family and working together and trying to help each other. And the more people that we can, wake up and get people to look at things instead of just listening and going with whatever the media is told to tell us, that's important. And giving yourself an opportunity, guys. That is so important. Have I done the Rolling Thunder bike ride in Washington, D.C. Memorial Day week? I have not done that, and I know this year's the last year they're going to be able to do it. I don't know if anybody knew that. This is the last year for Rolling Thunder because they're, financing and having to do everything. Somebody just said Daytona is fun. Yeah, there's a lot of different events, guys, that I would like to go to. I want to try to get out more. do different things. I know that this year I plan on doing some serious riding. So like I said, I absolutely love it. Absolutely. I'm going to make sure I do some more runs this year too. There's a lot of good charities out there. A lot of people don't realize that a lot of bikers do a lot of good charity runs that help a lot of people. So it can be used for a very positive thing. And plus you get a chance to go and ride and just enjoy yourself, which is even better. Your kid looks good with his hair growing out. Yeah, he decided, he decided that he wanted to grow his hair out, and he's had his head shaved for a long, long time because I always cut his hair, and so I just gave him the buzz cut. And so he said, I want to grow my hair out, and I'm like, okay, what am I going to tell him? No, he's 17 years old. I don't care if he grows his hair out. You teach your kids your knowledge, and are they interested? I do teach them. They know how to make a fire and that type of stuff. They live prepping with me all the time. They hear me talking about it, so they're kind of desensitized to it in a way, because it's like it's all the time. And then I'm on the phone a lot with people, and I talk with people, and they're like, oh my God, he's telling that story again. So they hear it a lot. Hey Eddie, Lori Austin says she likes your hair. Okay, he said thank you. I'm always talking to my friends and family and others about prepping. Yeah, from Newfoundland, Canada. Phyllis just said that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Workman just said he did Sturgis in 1990. It had to be a fun time. Oh, old pics of me? Oh my God. Let's put it like this. When I was Eddie's age, I looked like Eddie. Absolutely looked like Eddie. I told him, I showed him pictures when I was his age, and he's like, oh my God. And I'm like, yeah. But Heather has my face. But she's got her mother's pale skin, her mom's blue eyes, but Heather has my face. This is setting a bad precedent. Forced mandatory nationwide vaccinations guaranteed. This is where it's headed. Hopefully not. Stace just said, tell Greg he's awesome. I will definitely do that. No, Greg's a good dude. Greg is a very, very good dude. I can't access your community. Tells me that nothing has been posted yet. Okay, Janet, there's a help button there. So somebody says, are you still single? Yes, I am. I am single at the moment. It is very difficult to find somebody in this day and age, to be honest with you. I have a type. Everybody has a type. I like short and petite. That is my type. I like women that are, short and petite. And, it's very tough to find people, and then you have, unfortunately, some people are looking for somebody to take care of them. And I've already done that route, and I don't want to do that again. So, eventually I'll meet somebody again, and it would be nice. I would love to have a partner working with me, someone that liked, that she liked this lifestyle. I think that would be important. And because I'm not going to be with first of all, she better like to ride. I got to be with somebody. She's got to like to ride. So, because I'm not going to stop riding. You are so lucky to have Greg as your neighbor. Yeah, Greg, like I said, guys, Greg is absolutely awesome. A bad mate. Yeah, okay. Hey, Ian Wright, thank you very much. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Don't look and it will come to you. Exactly. And, honestly, I haven't been looking. I've been focusing on taking care of my kids, working on things here. That's been my focus the last couple of years. And, there's somebody out there. And when the time is right, her and I will get together and we'll kind of go from there. So I just, that's what I'm trying to focus on. But let's see something real quick here. Anyway, so I gotta bring this up just because somebody was making this comment. Okay, in the back corner over here, I have Vaseline, and somebody's like, "Oh my God, Vaseline, that's disgusting." In the wintertime, guys, it gets really, really dry here in the north. I use Vaseline on my knees, on my elbows, on my feet, even on my hands. It gets really, really dry, so that Vaseline helps with that, because otherwise your skin will crack and it's not very much fun. It gets really dry, so that's why I use Vaseline, and that's why it's on my table. Nothing for any other reason. So, all right, so good for chap lips too. Absolutely, yep. Well, I use chapstick. I always carry chapstick with me. That's just something that I always have. Oh, thank you, Mountain Girl. I appreciate you saying that. More women hitting on you when you're married. That happens too. It does. I'll tell you what. I am. When I was with my ex-wife, she was my whole world. I actually had anticipated being with her with the rest of my life, and growing old, I used to talk about I want to sit on the porch and have the grandkids over and play with the grandkids and do that. So, unfortunately, things didn't work out that way. But that's life. We have to kind of roll the punches. Again, sometimes things happen for a reason, and at the time you think it could be the worst thing that's ever happened to you, and down the road you look back and in hindsight, and it was a blessing. So that's kind of how it's how you take it. If you take everything really, really personal, if you take everything personal, it affects how you deal with life and how you handle things. But if you roll with it, sale and decal giveaway. Oh yeah, I got to mention that. I'm sorry. Okay, so if you guys go over to the Watchman News, we're doing a decal giveaway right now so that you can get into that contest. So I wanted to bring that up really quick. It's the contest. All you have to do is register for the contest, and you're in. And we're going to be giving away some of the Prepper Nurse 1 decals. Okay, so that's there. We're also still doing the sale on the website. It's going to end on Sunday, midnight at West Coast time, 3 a.m. East Coast time. Okay, so 20% off on all merchandise and also on Legacy Foods as well. So if you're looking to save yourself a little money and you want to buy some Legacy Foods and prep that way, I'm a big believer that, again, you should be diversified in your preps and have a lot of different things. And freeze-dried food is definitely one of the things that you should have. And that's just my opinion on that. So just wanted to put that out there again. So let's see what we got here. Yeah, if everybody, guys that you're in here, if you could hit the like button, I would appreciate it. That would be awesome. And, of course, I wasn't even paying attention to the time, and it's already 5 after 9. So, now JJ Biggs just said, I worship trees. And you said that I'm sure you said that kind of like as a joke. I'm going to tell you what, for me personally, when I am in nature and when I'm out in the woods and when I have the peacefulness, which I have here, that's when I am close to God. That is, for me, that is what it's all about. I don't need to be in a building with somebody up there wearing a dress telling me what to do and how to do it. When I am in nature, and that's where I feel most at peace, and that's where I feel like, I'm going to tell you what, at nighttime here when the skies are clear and I go outside and it's warm enough and you get up there and you're looking at thousands and thousands of stars, it is absolutely beautiful. When there are the meteor shows, we've literally put a blanket down in the driveway with pillows and laid down in the driveway and just looked up at the sky watching for meteors. And it is absolutely awesome. And it just makes you realize how insignificantly small we truly are when you look at things from that type of perspective. It's a big universe out there, guys, and we are not the only ones in it. So, so anyway, guys, I am going to jump off of here for now. I appreciate everybody being here for the show tonight and stuff like that. And I love the interaction with you guys. That's what it's all about. So I think that that's really, really important. Remember, guys, we are all in this together. That's important to remember. I think a lot of people lose sight of that. Also, remember, hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. Even if you're fighting with that person and you've had a bad day and you're at loggerheads, still tell them I love you. Don't go to bed angry. That's not a good way to go to bed. You might not be real happy with them, but you still tell them that you love them. It's important. Remember, too, STD, guys. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that's going to stop you from getting there is yourself. Nobody else can do it, okay? I hope everybody has a great night, and I will see you guys tomorrow, all right? Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.